Okay, sorry about the wait. I had to go run a whole bunch of errands with my mom, but I will do all the parts right now. Okay, so after I texted her, she on TikTok, she was like, "I know it's you, stop it. I am about to hack your account with all my friends." And I was like, "What the heck? How did she find this out?" And then she hacked me, and I don't even know how, because there was a 2-step verification. And then I finally got it back because after like a week, because I DM'd Roblox and they finally gave it to me. And then I changed everything. I changed like literally my password, my avatar, and I tried to save up for Robux to change my user, and I did that. And then, but for some reason she still found out about my new account. So I blocked her on everything. Come back.
There was this white dumby bumby mumby cumby hot Cheeto girl at my school. She acted like she owned the place and was a big bully. She made sickening homophobic and racist jokes. After my dumbass bitch-ass small pumpa pea-brain realized how wrong it was, I approached her. I told her how offensive her words are, and that flaky dandruff scalp bitch said, "Shut up, bitch, I'll become your stepmom and beat you." So, I fucked her dad, videotaped it, and sent it to her. I made sure to be extra loud. The next day she moved schools. Pretty sure I gave her trauma. Dumb bitch. So we all know that dumb bitch named Emily. I swear that pimple monster lumpy toe gremlin basic bitch was the most annoying fucker on the planet. Anyways, it was a normal day at school and Emily asked to go to the potty. I didn't think anything of it until my phone started vibrating. That bitch sounded like a whole fucking lawnmower. After class I checked my phone and saw over 100 snaps from that gremlin. She planned to stay in the bathroom all school day and skip class cause she was a baddie. I didn't care until I saw my percentage. At the beginning of school my phone was at 100%. It was only first period and it was at 5%. I needed payback and I knew how strict their parents were. So I screenshotted her snaps and sent them to her parents. They put her up for adoption.
Story time of how my friend accidentally got someone to leak their address. You're probably wondering how an address can be leaked accidentally. And honestly, I don't even know. Just keep watching. But basically, my friend was in Tower of Hell and he saw in the chat, "Oh my god, I just heard a loud boom." My friend, to be funny, goes along with it and said, "Oh my god, I hear that too." And like they kept just talking about like how it sounded, what it was like. But anyway, this goes on for like a while. And then like the girl's like, "Oh my god, I just heard another boom. Did you hear that?" And he's like, "Oh my god, yeah, I did. Like, wow." And the girl was like, "Oh my god, do you live in this state?" Now, I'm not going to say the actual state for safety purposes. Plus, I actually don't know the state. But if I knew the state, I still wouldn't say it anyway, just cause. And my friend lies and say, "Yeah," which she's not actually in that state. So, like, yeah. By the way, this was in public chat. So, like, literally everyone can see the conversation. Now everyone knows the state she lives in. Part 2's up.
Here's why I think my band teacher is obsessed with me. I play the clarinet in school. My band teacher is an older man, but he seems really nice. I lost interest in band and wasn't showing up to my lessons. This became really stressful because my grade dropped dramatically and there was no way I could get my grade up. So I decided to quit. My mom emailed him and was like, "Hey, my daughter wants to quit band. It's really stressful for her, so can you maybe let her do that?" And he said he was perfectly fine with it. Until last Friday, I went to band. After band, he pulled me in his office. He kept on reassuring me that everything was going to be okay in life and he was always there for me. Keep in mind, I've only known him since the beginning of the school year. He then began explaining that he loved me so much. He loved having me as a student. I'm running out of time, so I'll come back for part 2.
Crazy ass story time about how my best friend's parents walked in on me sleeping with my best friend's brothers. And yes, I said brothers. So my freshman year, I became best friends with this girl. And she had 2 older, hot-ass brothers. One was in college, and one was a senior. Well, it was Christmas break, and her older brother from college was home. And my parents let me go with them to Florida for Christmas break. They had a super nice beach house, and I was sharing a room with my best friend. And the boys were sharing a room. And our room was connected because there was a bathroom in the middle. Well, my best friend got super sick the first.
So y'all remember how PE teachers used to make you run the mile in elementary school? Well boy, do I have a fucking story for you. So I was out on the field running my second lap and my stomach started hurting because my fucking mom decided to buy McDonald's for breakfast. So I asked the teacher if I could go to the bathroom and that bitch-ass Trump gorilla-looking motherfucker said no, so I just kept running and prayed to Michael Jackson that it would go away. So I'm on my third lap and I have to fart. And on God I pulled an Essa Barrett. So much shit came out that I could literally make a 4-course meal with it. And a chocolate fountain for dessert. I was about to fucking cry. Obviously I wasn't gonna tell my teacher that I shit myself, so I just said I felt like I was gonna throw up. So I go to the clinic literally holding my hands on my ass so nobody would see my shit. When I get to the clinic the nurse tells me to sit down, but in my head I'm like, bitch, if I sit down your chair is gonna look like the chocolate river from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So I just lean on the wall until my mom comes to pick me up. When I stand up off the wall to go to the bathroom my shit is smeared on the wall and the nurse looks at it and she's like, what the fuck, was that you? And I was like, ew, hell no, and I run to the bathroom and my whole ass had shit on it, and when my mom picked me up I started crying because she asked what smelled like dog shit and she thought she stepped in something and I had to tell her it was my.
I was 9, I would play Roblox with my friends and we would spend all our Robuxes buying hot avatars so we would get boyfriends. We also looked rich AF. My friend was jealous I had a rich boyfriend and took him off me, so I was like, bitch, who do you think you are? The next day at school she said that the boy was 14 but he told me he was 12. I thought it was weird but didn't say anything. Like a week later she said that they were meeting at the park but she said I wasn't allowed to tell anyone. I didn't give a shit what she said. I started crying at lunch and the teacher asked what was wrong, so I told her. She told the police and he was a 46-year-old man. We are now 15 and she refuses to talk to me.
In 8th grade I would use my free period to help with the coaches in sports. One day my football coach said he forgot his jacket in the locker room for coaches and asked me if I'd go grab it. Of course I said yes, but when I went it was locked, so I just used the key on his lanyard and didn't think to knock or anything cause I assumed they would all be coaching at practice. When I walked in I saw one of the other coaches in the middle of a shower. I pretended not to see him and grabbed the jacket, but he asked me what I was doing. Meanwhile he is completely naked. Didn't bother to grab a towel or anything and he was completely comfortable with his schlong out right in front of me. He kept talking to me for like 10 minutes and never put any clothes on. On my way out he told me not to tell anyone about this because he said he could get in trouble. I never told anyone then for the rest of the year at times.
Okay, story time. So one time at school, in the girls' toilets, this girl, let's just call her Diana, went to the toilets. And she had a crush on this guy. Let's just call him Sebastian. So she had a crush on Sebastian. So what she would do every day is in the toilet cubicles, get a pencil, and draw like hearts, his name, her name, and all that weird stuff. Then one day, the janitor was coming to go clean up the girls' toilets. And when he went into that cubicle, he saw all the writing on the wall. He was so mad, and because it was our class toilets, he went to our class. He told the teacher and the teacher got furious. We all got into detention. And the teacher demanded us to say which one of us did this. I know I didn't do it, and I didn't know anything about it. Then that girl raised her hand and said, "Follow for part 2. Part 2. So as Diana raised her hand, the bell rang. When the bell rang, everyone went to go get ready. And then at recess, I went to go and look in the toilets. I went into the cubicle that Diana always goes into, and I saw that hers and Sebastian's name were in a love heart. That's how I had my proof, and I knew it was her. So in the middle of recess, I went to the teacher. I showed her my proof. Diana got detention for a month. And yeah.
This is why you should never knock on a stranger's door. Once there was a man trying to check into a hotel. The woman at the front desk gave him his key and told him none of the guests are allowed to go into the room across the hall. He agreed, but as he continued to stay in the hotel, he grew more and more curious about the room he wasn't supposed to go in. At one point, he even walked down the hall to that room and tried the door. It was locked. Then he bent down and looked through the keyhole. He saw that it was just the same as his hotel room, but in the corner of the room there was a woman whose skin was extremely pale, almost a sickly white. Her back was to the wall, so the man didn't see what she looked like. He almost knocked on the door, but then just decided to leave her alone. The next day he walked past the door again and decided to look into the keyhole. This time there was no hotel room and no woman. It was all just red. He thought that this seemed really strange, so he went to the front desk and asked about the room. After insisting on an answer, the woman at the front desk told him, "A long time ago, a man killed his wife in that room, and her ghost is still there. But these ghosts are not what you might imagine. They're completely white all over, except for their eyes, which are red."
What a wonderful